Yeah, a little bit. I mean, obviously disappointing because I think Leeds is a great place to go and play at Headingley, and it's always a great game, and we enjoy playing there as a side. So a little bit, but we've still hopefully got 3 games, and which is plenty of games still.
And 8 of you have been playing at the IPL. Is that a good preparation? I know ideally you'd want to be playing as a group.
Yeah, no, I think it's very good because you're playing in a tournament that the pressure is very high, and the atmosphere and everything's good, so the pressure is always there. And we're playing cricket, which is really important. But obviously, as a group now, we need to get together and hopefully nail these 3 games, and go to West Indies.
And these 3 games probably most important for Jofra Archer. How good to have him back among the group? Amazing
to have Joff back. I think someone of his talent, I know he's been out for a couple of years, but to have him back fully fit is amazing, and to watch him bowl again for England is what we've all been hoping for ages now. So no, he's massive for us. He's very, very important.
And with Jos Buttler potentially leaving for the birth of his child, you'll come in and captain. How do you feel about that?
Fine. Obviously, if it happens, then it's obviously a great honour, as it always is. But yeah, I'll be fine. Nothing will change too much. It's just taking over from what he's doing, and then when he comes back, he takes over. Hopefully, the baby comes at the right time where he doesn't miss too many games.
Is it difficult not knowing when it might be, or for how long you might be leading the side at a World Cup?
Not really. I mean, it's just, for me, it's just whatever comes, whatever will happen, and it's not really difficult, to be honest with you, because we speak often, me and Joss, and we talk about other things, and obviously team and all that, so we're kind of on the same page anyway, yeah.
And finally, for me, have you thought about your future beyond this World Cup? You're obviously one of the most experienced players in the squad now. Could this be your last World Tournament, do you think?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, for me personally, if I'm playing well and my body's good and I'm fit, then I want to be playing for as long as I can. I love and enjoy playing for England, but it could be where the World Cup where I'm not feeling as good or I'm not playing well, and I just decide that this is not me anymore. So I don't really think too much about it. I just go on how I'm feeling at the time.
Mo, you mentioned about, I think it was 8 of the guys were at the IPL. Is there sort of a danger that the guys that weren't at the IPL, they could come in a little bit undercooked into the actual World Cup, given it's only 3 matches now until that gets underway?
Probably a little bit. I mean, playing cricket is always the best preparation, and I know some guys have been most of the guys have been playing. A few guys have been training and stuff, but it's not the same. So hopefully get some game time, and these 3 games should be enough for the guys to get going. And there's a bit of time in West Indies, a bit of training, few training sessions, and we'll be fine. There's no real excuses from our side.
And you were very honest after the last World Cup. Obviously a different format, longer format, but the guys that were out there that are going to be part of this squad, is there that sort of eagerness to kind of right the wrongs of that last tournament?
Obviously we want to do well. I don't look too much into it. I think it's a completely different format. I know it's white ball, but it's different cricket. I think we're more settled and probably more comfortable in T20 cricket than we are in 50 over cricket. So yeah, I think most of the guys have played a lot more T20 stuff than 50 overs, and we're much more confident in this format. So obviously we want to do well, and that's the aim.
We'll go Ali and then Lawrence.
Actually, the question I was going to ask about your future, you kind of answered. But can I just ask about your role in the side? When we see you in the Blast or the 100, you're normally top 3. IPL, then you slot into that middle order. With England, it's kind of sort of 6 or 7. How does that change for you mentally, and what do you see as your role in the England lineup?
My role, as probably always, really, it's been. It could be anything, and I could be thrown up the order because of lack of left-handers, and so I just try and prepare for a bit of everything, and I've always done it, even in other formats, and I've just always prepared to anything can happen on the day, and the coach decides, okay, you go 3 today, or the captain says, right, we need to send a lefty in, you go in. So I always try and prepare for any sort of scenario situation, and I actually kind of pride myself on that not everybody can just come in and play whatever kind of thing. So I do enjoy it, because it gives you an opportunity. I'm down at 6 and 7 a lot of the time, but when the captain gives you a nudge and says, right, get in and go play some shots, and enjoy it.
And presumably that same goes for the bowling, because sometimes you can open in the power play.
Same with the ball, power play bowling in the middle. The only thing I don't probably do is bowl at the death, thank God. But it's the same thing. Just prepare. I try and bowl a bit with a new ball and then slightly older ball, just to make sure I've ticked all the boxes. And that's always been my sort of mantra in terms of training.
Hi Mo. Matthew Mott spoke the other day about getting David Young involved and talked about maybe getting your vulnerabilities out there a bit. I think was a phrase he used. Has that been in evidence yet? Have you had a kind of heart-to-heart team meeting and got stuff out there?
Yeah, I mean, Youngie was with us before as well, as you know, and we've had a couple of chats. I think it's just bringing more clarity and how that looks and stuff. But having Youngie back in the change room generally is great for the side, and is a good character to have himself away from his work. So when he's in and he's doing his work, he's great to have. And everyone's different. I guess me personally, I don't use psychologists too much and all that kind of stuff, but he's great for the team. And just a bit more clarity in what we're trying to do as a side and roles as players. And he's a great sort of sandball for Joss.
What does the clarity look like if you were to try to explain that to an average punter? What does it mean?
You're probably asking the wrong guy, but it's more on how the style of cricket that we want to try and play. What does it look like in terms of, are we positive? Are we trying to be a bit cautious? Are we going to adapt and all these kind of things? And then we just pick, and once we decide on what we want as a group, then we fully 100% commit to that, whether that's bat, ball, or in the field. And some things are non-negotiables, and what that looks like to the group. And it's obviously quite personal as a side, but that is what clarity is for us.
Okay, we'll do Matt, and then we'll take two more at the front here, one here. Finish off there. No, wait, just wait. Matt, go ahead.
Can I just ask a bit about your on-field role as vice-captain, I guess, particularly when Joss is keeping wicket? He seems to lean on you quite a lot to relay messages to bowlers. Could you just tell us a bit about what that entails?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the last year or so, when in all the formats Joss is captain, just probably allowing me to get the angles in the field sometimes right, moving players and not worrying about if Joss is saying yes or no. It's just he trusts me in terms of that. Talking to the bowlers a lot of the time, Joss obviously we plan and Joss speaks to the bowlers, but sometimes at mid-off things can change, and just a different probably set of eyes to look at, and just making sure when I speak to the bowlers, I'm making the bowlers real clear on what they want to do and their plans and all this kind of stuff.
I guess there's quite strict over 8 penalties these days as well with the stop clock. Is that part of it for you? Yeah,
it will be this time, because obviously it's going to be strict, and these things are we can't take lightly. So there's a lot of trust within the group as well. The bowlers enjoy having me, I think, at mid-off a lot of the time and talking to them. So hopefully that can work.
Just wait for the mic, one here, and then we'll do two here, one here. With you, sir. Go ahead.
When you are tomorrow performing in the front of the home crowd, how you are excited? And second, my question is, a lot of England players that leave IPL and they are facing a criticism in India, ex-player. So any performance will be affected tomorrow in the criticism about they leave IPL?
I think to your first question, obviously it's always a pleasure and always amazing playing in front of or at my home ground, but where everything started for me and the city, and I absolutely love Birmingham. I love home. My family come and watch, and a lot of friends obviously as well. So and it's an amazing stadium to play. I really enjoy the wickets and stuff. So that's the answer to your number one. Number two, there's obviously as players we just do what we've been told in terms of coming back early, and we came back, and some of us were lucky enough to get 4 or 5 days off and with the family, because obviously we don't see them now until after the World Cup or when they come, sorry, which is still obviously a long time. So for us, that's more important than anything. The criticism is always going to be there, whether we stayed or we didn't. It doesn't affect any of the players. Once we're together, it doesn't affect anything.
And this one here.
Why is your family divided on who they are supporting, which side, and whether they are supporting both sides? And secondly, Pakistan's really an unpredictable side, and at times they can be very, very dangerous. Does that make you nervous?
My family are not divided at all, obviously. Ever since I was a kid, we always wanted to play for England and do well, and always wanted, my family in particular wanted England to do well all the time. So, and it's only good for us as a country and as players. So, no, they're not divided at all. And second question, what was the second question?
Pakistan.
Oh, Pakistan are a very, very dangerous side. Probably the most dangerous side in the world in terms of can beat anybody, anytime, any sort of wicket. As you saw in the last World Cup, they make it to the final. They always do well in the World Cups, and yeah, they're amazing. They obviously make everybody nervous, no matter who they're playing, and you have to play well to beat Pakistan. They can be unpredictable at times, but generally, especially in big tournaments, they're an amazing side.
Last question, please.
मोइन एजबास्टन में कल बहुत ज़्यादा हम पाकिस्तानी भी एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, बड़ी तादाद में पाकिस्तानी शायकीन होंगे. आपको क्या लगता है कि इंग्लैंड के सपोर्टर्स ज़्यादा होंगे जो पाकिस्तानी है, या पाकिस्तानी सपोर्टर्स ज़्यादा होंगे?
I think I'm going to answer in English.
Sure.
I think generally when India, Pakistan come here, the fans obviously they have more of the support. But I feel genuinely over the last couple of years that more than a couple of years, but there are a lot more English supporters, especially from the South Asian backgrounds, and obviously they still support India, Pakistan a lot of the time, but you do hear and see and speak to a lot of people that support England a lot more because their kids are now supporting England. There's players like Jofra, I know he's not South Asian, but Jofra, Rash, myself who've coming through, and Rehan Ahmed. And so the support is hopefully over the next few years going to be a lot more with England.
बाबर आजम के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? हमारे पाकिस्तान के इस वक्त जो टॉप जिनको रैंकिंग कर रहे हैं उनको बाबर आजम का भी नाम आता है, तो उनके बारे में आप क्या इस वक्त क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या देख रहे हैं उनको?
Babar Azam, obviously everybody knows he's an amazing player, he's a brilliant player. Rankings, I don't care. Personally, I don't really care. I mean, you watch a player and you know he's a top player. I don't think teams and countries can talk too much about rankings and where people stand, but it's all about performing on the big stage and in World Cups and winning for your team. But we know Babar is an amazing player. Everybody loves watching him play, so yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Mel.